A seance has been held in the great house at Collinwood. A seance which has suspended time and space and sent one woman on an uncertain and frightening journey into the past, back to the year 1795. There, in the village of Collinsport, Victoria Winters has been unjustly condemned as a witch, while all around her, a torrent of tragic events continues to engulf the Collins family.
Good morning. You're up even earlier than I. I thought the sun would never rise and the night end.
Well, I see you're dressed in all your wedding finery.
I found myself so restless all night. I began my preparations quite early. Do you like my gown?
It's very pretty, I'm sure.
You're looking at the tower, aren't you?
What?
I was going to ask you what it was last night.
What are you talking about?
I saw lights in the tower room last night. No one ever goes there. I was curious as to who it may have been. Joshua, my impression was quite distinct. You were staring out the window, looking up at the tower.
Child, I was merely looking at the sky to get a hint of the weather.
Perhaps. But still, that leaves unexplained the true source of my curiosity. I saw the lighted window from my room.
That is complete and utter nonsense.
And there were other strange occurrences during the night.
What are you talking about?
Noises. Hushed voices. Footsteps. Echoing from hallways far away.
Far away indeed. The echoes of the recessions in your imagination.
With all respect, dear cousin, that is not true. I saw not only lights, but also shadows passing across the window.
My dear child, I also had a restless night, and I too saw the same things that you saw at the...
But then I don't understand.
Well, we both saw the moonlight reflected on the window panes of the tower. And I admit that the passing shadows would give the impression, the clouds would give the impression of the shadows.
But Cousin Joshua,
Millicent, I have had enough. Please do not tax my patience any longer. I know that I'm going to need it today, thanks to you and this misalliance that I'm being forced to witness.
Cousin Joshua, at the risk of repetition, I must remind you that Lieutenant Forbes is a fine young man.
Well, we shall see.
Indeed, we shall.
Shall? I trust you mean that you've not told him you've signed over your fortune to Daniel.
He shall learn of that at a time of my choosing. And his response will prove not only the validity of my faith in him and the errors of your judgment, but also the true splendor of his character.
Poor child. If I had any feelings left, I might pity you.
He's here. May I ride with him into town on his horse?
Who's here?
Lieutenant Forbes.
Good morning, Mr. Collins. Ah, my lovely bride.
Lieutenant, you were to meet us at the chapel in town.
Oh, I couldn't wait to see you.
And you know you'd tempt your luck to see me before the ceremony.
Lieutenant, didn't expect to see you here.
I know, Mrs. Collins, you must forgive me, but the morning was so fine and after such a stormy night, and I was so anxious to see Miss Millicent.
And we do forgive him, don't we?
Come along, Millicent. You shouldn't be here. And Lieutenant, you can't arrive at the chapel with the family. Come on, Daniel.
Forgive me if I am not displeased with your impulsiveness. And it is such a lovely morning after the... It was stormy last night. There was no moon.
Millicent, Naomi is waiting for you.
Then I did see a light in the tower last night.
A light in the tower?
Millicent, you're keeping Naomi waiting. I believe my wife pointed out that we should meet in town.
Yes, of course.
Then would you kindly do so?
Before I go, may I say that I share Miss Millicent's curiosity about the light in the tower?
There were no lights. You know as well as I do that she tends to be over-imaginative.
As you say, sir.
Now listen to me, young man. Whether there are lights in the tower room or not is no concern of yours. I'm not interested in your observations or your curiosities, so keep them completely to yourself. Is that clear?
You have been clearer, perhaps, than you intended to be, Mr. Collins. My curiosity is no longer aroused. It is satisfied. We shall meet at the wedding.
Joshua, I believe it's customary to toast the bride and groom.
Yes, it is customary, isn't it?
Ah, but we agreed to dispense with the formalities. But you must allow me just one. I would like to toast the woman who's made me the happiest man on the face of the earth. To my wife, Mrs. Nathan Forbes.
Oh, Nathan.
And now, if you gentlemen will excuse the ladies.
Oh, first, Mrs. Collins, you must permit me to thank you for inviting Millicent and me to live here in Collinwood until our plans have been completed.
Oh, I didn't want Millicent to have too abrupt a change.
Oh, well, believe me, we won't intrude upon your hospitality any longer than necessary. I wasn't going to announce this immediately. I was going to wait until I'd spoken to my wife, but...
Oh, Nathan, what is it?
Well, I've resigned my commission from the Navy.
You have?
Yes, so that in just a very few weeks, I'll be able to devote more of my time to my wife's happiness.
Indeed.
I've already made some inquiries, and it's just possible that very soon we may be making a trip around the entire globe.
Oh?
Surely this is something that can be discussed at another time.
You mean you haven't told him?
Cousin Naomi, please. This gown really is rather uncomfortable. Won't you come and help me?
Oh, it sounds like my wife has plans of her own.
Yes, you might say that, yes.
Nathan, I'm quite sure we can discuss this later. Privately. Now, you must excuse us for just a few moments.
Well, I see there's more champagne. Will you join me?
I don't wish to intrude on the prerogative of your wife, but you will discover that she has indeed made plans of her own.
Cousin Joshua's rather angry, isn't he?
Is he? I didn't notice.
I just saw him storm up the stairs.
Well, I can't imagine what's upsetting him.
Neither can I. He can't object to you marrying my sister. At least not anymore, he can't.
No, it is a little bit late for that, isn't it?
Oh, I don't mean because you've already married her. I'm talking about, well, you know, the money.
Money? What money?
My sister's money.
You know, I'm not interested in your sister's money.
Yes, that's why I can't understand why Cousin Joshua's so angry.
Well, perhaps he doesn't believe that I'm sincere.
But you've already proved you are. By marrying her anyway.
Anyway, what do you mean by anyway?
Well, you married her even though she signed all her money over to me. She has no money anymore. But you married her anyway. I told her I didn't want all that money. But she went to the lawyers anyway.
She went to the lawyers.
Now no one has any reason not to like you. Even Cousin Joshua.
No reason.
Don't be angry. I mean at Cousin Joshua. He'll change his mind about you. Just wait and see.
Don't worry. I'm not angry. Not at your Cousin Joshua.
Go away.
Why are you crying?
Please, just go away.
Why are you so unhappy? I thought people on their wedding day were...
Can't you just leave me alone?
Did Lieutenant Forbes make you cry?
Daniel, please, this is none of your concern. Now go away.
Is it because he went into town?
No. No, of course not. And he'll be back. I know he will be.
It isn't because you gave me all your money, is it? You can have it all back if you want it.
No, I don't want the money.
Then what do you want?
To be left alone. Now, please.
All right.
I want.
I had some business to attend to in town. I didn't know it would take this long.
You've been drinking. I can tell.
Forgive me, but I don't feel required to explain or give excuses.
If you're determined to hurt Millicent in any way, I'm ready to take whatever steps are necessary.
Are you indeed?
You have my word for it.
Tell me, Mrs. Collins, that tower there, the room at the top.
Don't try to change the subject.
You may find this difficult to believe, but I'm not.
I refuse to listen to you any longer. You're not making any sense.
Cousin Naomi, Millicent's in her room and she's still crying.
I'm not surprised.
Don't bother yourself. I'll go to her. She is my wife.
Then why did you make her cry?
Well, I didn't mean to. I went into town to get her a gift. Yes, a gift that I'd forgotten earlier.
It frightens me when she cries.
Well, you know, I'll do the best I can, Daniel.
Would you please?
Yes, of course.
You know the way she's been acting. Sort of upset.
She's going to be all right.
I hope so. Because if anything happens to her, I won't have anyone. If anything happens to her mind.
Nothing will happen to her.
I don't want her money. She's gonna have to handle it for me anyway.
Oh.
Yes, until I'm of age. And if anything happened to her, who would watch out for it?
I don't know.
Maybe Cousin Joshua would.
Maybe.
Or maybe even you, since you're her husband.
Now, Daniel, we're not even going to think about it anymore. Nothing is going to happen to your sister, or to her mind. Because I'm going to take care of her. Yes, I'm going to look after her. Very carefully. Very, very carefully.
leave me on a day like this? How could you?
If you'd give me a chance to explain.
I'm not interested in explanations.
Listen, I went in to get a gift for you, a gift that I'd left in my quarters. I couldn't find it. That's what took me so long. I was looking for it.
I don't believe you.
It's the truth.
You have been gone all day.
I said I was sorry.
You don't really love me. I know you don't.
Millicent, I do. If there were only some way that I could prove it to you.
There is. You have said repeatedly that my money meant nothing to you.
Well, it doesn't.
That you would love me even if I were penniless.
I would, believe me.
Nathan, now that the time has come to say it, I don't know how.
What is it, Millicent?
I'm afraid to say it. Afraid I'm going to lose you.
Oh, now you're not going to lose me. You know that. Well, what is it?
I saw my lawyers. Oh, Nathan.
Go on, what is it?
I have no money. None whatsoever. I've signed it over to my brother Daniel. Why are you laughing?
Because I'm so happy.
I don't understand.
Now, neither of us will ever have to worry about the money again. Now we can find out how truly we love each other.
And you're not angry. You're not disappointed.
I love you, Millicent.
Oh, Nathan.
Now, do you believe me?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, why are you crying?
I was so frightened.
Well, there's no reason to be frightened anymore. All right. Here. You make yourself pretty. And we'll go down to dinner together.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, let them all see how happy we are.
Are you ready?
Yes. Oh, my darling.
Aren't you going to wear those earrings that you had on this morning?
Did you like them?
Well, you made them quite beautiful.
If it would please you, I would wear them always. But where's the other one?
Heather what? Heather earring?
They were here just a moment ago.
Oh, well, it must have fallen.
But I don't see it.
Well, I certainly hope you haven't lost it.
No, I couldn't have. Must be here someplace.
All right, now, don't let yourself get upset.
I'm not upset.
But you're acting extremely upset.
But I'm not. I'm really quite calm.
Then I must beg you to act calmly.
But I am.
I fail to see any evidence of it.
What's that?
Beg your pardon?
That sound. It's so frightening.
What sound?
But surely you must hear it. Dogs howling.
Dogs howling. Now listen, are you certain you're not upset?
Don't you hear it? Listen.
What is it?
Look. The tower.
What about the tower?
The room is all lit up. Cousin Joshua insisted I didn't see it. But there it is again.
There what is again?
That light in the tower.
I see no light in the tower.
But it's there. How can you not see it?
Millicent, come here to me.
But there is a light in the tower.
All right, now I just want you to try and remain calm.
And I do hear the dogs howling.
Don't, please, Millicent, just keep calm.
I do see the light. I do hear the howling.
If you say so.
But you've got to believe me.
I do believe you. if you want me to.
No. No. No!